What's key for you at this meeting in Fiji?
What's key for us is the announcement of this $13 million fund stretched over the next 6 years, working in partnership with small islands, Pacific small island states, in allowing them to build real resilience against the effects of climate change, so that they're better prepared for climate change events and ultimately are better able to plan for their future. So this is a very, I suppose, significant statement of intent on Ireland's part. This is our first ever single donor trust fund with any bank in the world, of reaching out a hand of solidarity and support. We are a small island state on the edge of Europe, and we want to reach out and support small island states in this part of the world in empowering them to better respond to climate change in the future.
But the question really is, how committed are you in an environment where oil is rising, where the global economy is poised to slow down? How committed are you to funding to help the fragile cities?
We are exceptionally committed. I mean, this funding of $13 million comes within an overall envelope of a spend this year for Ireland of almost $900 million in terms of our international development work. This is a fundamental part of Irish government policy, our foreign policy. We've always made that commitment to support countries who need our support. It's a tradition stretching back over decades, and we're very anxious to develop that in the future. In fact, we're now actively working towards reaching that UN goal of 0.7% of GNI by 2030. And in October, just gone, in our recent budget announcement, we added in another €100 million into our budget, and we'll be adding an additional €100 million every year between now and 2030. That's how significant our intent is.
Minister, climate change is a challenge, so is Brexit. We're now talking about Brexit tension. What's your view on how confident you are that a deal will come through eventually?
I remain confident. I'm the eternal optimist, and I think ultimately, as we move towards October, and as we see now significant and increased dialogue between the Labour Party and the Conservative Party in the UK, that it will begin to dawn upon the United Kingdom government and indeed its people that an orderly withdrawal where the best interests of both the UK and Europe and Ireland are served is the only way to move forward. The alternative is a horrendous scenario for Ireland, for the UK and for Europe as a whole.
But having said that, is Ireland still preparing for a no-deal Brexit?
Ireland is preparing for every eventuality. In fact, Ireland was preparing for both a deal and no-deal Brexit long before Brexit ever happened. We've been working exceptionally hard with our partners in the European Union to ensure that Ireland's interests are protected in the context of either a deal or a no deal. But can I just stress this, it's very important to stress this, post-Brexit we want to maintain a strong relationship, a strong friendship that we have had built with the United Kingdom over the last number of decades. Our peoples are inextricably linked, and post-Brexit we want to maintain that strong relationship and work in the best interests of the Irish people, the people in the UK and indeed European Union as a whole. So we're confident we can achieve that consensus in the time that is left between now and October.
You're preparing for all the
eventualities.
All eventualities, but how much are you spending on a no-deal Brexit possibility? Can you quantify that for us? What's being done?
What's being done in terms
and what's being spent?
Okay, there's a very significant amount of money being spent.
And what is that?
I don't know the figure, to be frank. It's not my area of expertise, but what I can say to you is, in preparation for a no-deal Brexit, we are preparing the Irish economy. We're particularly preparing the Irish SME sector, who are, in the context of a no-deal Brexit, are said to be most negatively impacted. We are working with them in their level of preparedness for that. We're looking at opening up new markets. Our national enterprise, the Enterprise Ireland, is working with Irish companies to look beyond the UK in terms of their exports internationally. So we're looking with our farmers, because for them a no-deal Brexit is a pretty horrific vista. Working with them and working with our Commissioner in the European Union, the Agriculture Commissioner Phil Hogan, to ensure that Irish farmers are supported in the case of a no-deal Brexit. Hopefully we won't need to put in place or to switch on all of those supports, but they are ready, they are waiting. We are very well prepared for that.
You're in charge of international development. Is that being derailed because of Brexit, because of other issues that's front and centre right now?
No. in terms of Brexit, we have a very capable, our Deputy Prime Minister, our Tánaiste Simon Coveney, and my colleague Minister Helen McEntee, who are solely focused on the challenges arising from Brexit, and a very, very competent team around them. We're in the Irish Aid are focusing on our responsibilities, on our ambition to play a significant role in helping other countries across the world to be the most successful countries they can be. That's essentially what our international development cooperation is all about. There's no diminution of the funds available to us. There's no diminution of our ambition in terms of that programme for the future.
Emigration is an issue for Ireland. Brain drain is also an issue. Is that being addressed?
Well, it's resolved, thankfully. In the immediate aftermath of the crash in 2008 and 2009, we had about 900 people leaving Ireland every week. In the last 12 to 24 months, we have 600 coming back every week now. So we have issued, I suppose, a clarion call to all of our Irish people worldwide that Ireland's economy is booming, with the fastest growing economy in the European Union for the last 4 years. We now have the most people at work in Ireland since the foundation of the state. Ireland's economy is in a very, very healthy place, and thankfully our young people are very talented and very highly qualified young people from across the world now recognise that, and they are coming home to be part of that ongoing economic growth.
With that resolve, what do you deem as the biggest challenge for Ireland right now?
The biggest challenge for Ireland right now is Brexit, is coping with Brexit, the fallout arising from Brexit. But we've worked extensively, as I say, in the lead up to the referendum and since with our European partners as best we can to minimise the impact upon Ireland. I mean, in a recent analysis of Brexit and the likely economic impact on Ireland of an orderly Brexit would be of the order of about 2.8% loss in GDP over the next decade or so, which we can cope with. A no-deal Brexit would be far more impactful, and hopefully we won't arrive at that.
Minister, thank you so much.